Captain by a hook with a red beard. Captain by a hook with a red beard.
Man, please. Screenshot that shit, put it on the wall. Man, please. All about my bread like some ham and damn cheese. How the hell we doing today? It is a beautiful, 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 beautiful Thursday. Sun has not came up yet, but it's 53, partly cloudy. I don't know what that has to do with anything, but what a night last night in college hoops. What a night last night in the NBA. I don't know. Didn't plan anything to talk about in the beginning. I will say this. I was betting on Kansas's fifth-year seniors to be able to handle some pressure defense. Turns out, turnovers. All I saw was Hunter Dickinson throwing the ball in the stands out of double teams and DeJuan Harris dropping the ball under his legs, rolling on it, pretzeling up while the ball is 10 feet away from him. It was a sad sight to see from Kansas. But anyway, it's Thursday, and we got a weekend of some damn football ahead of us. A little gridiron. We're going to talk every NFL game on the slate. We're also going to talk the college football championship game. And I say we because my man, JC, from the JC Pod, will be with me in just a moment. After we talk football, until we cannot talk football anymore, I'm going to do a little bracketology preview. I know it's only January, but it is closer than you think. We're about a little under 2 months out from championship week, less than 60 days from Selection Sunday, 63 days from the first Thursday of the madness. Also, want to recap some things last night in college basketball, preview tonight, and I think I got dos equis. That's two of them things for you, for the non-Espanol speakers. I'm talking about bets, people, for tonight in the collegiate hardwood. Without any further ado, logging back into the sportsbook as we speak. It's Captain by a hook, baby, with the red beard. I'm Rowan Donaghy, a.k.a. Rowan Dobbs, going live on a beautiful 16th of January, presented by Stare Down Sports, Stare Down Greatness. And speaking of Stare Down Sports, my man, co-founder of Stare Down Sports, JCP, Jaden Chandler Parnell, holding up a damn trophy.
Representing the Trash League as its reigning, defending, undisputed champion. How we doing, man?
Man, you had to rub it in my face, huh?
Well, oh yeah, you in the league too, but as commissioner, that wasn't directed towards you.
I know. I got to win one before I can get into the champion smack talk.
I will say, though, for the people who don't know, in my league, been running about, I think this was year 10 officially. We have had, between me and another guy, we've won 8 of the last 10. So just so people know that.
I've only been in that league for last two seasons. I ain't just been getting my ass whooped for
just getting clapped for 10 years, like, this going to be my year. No, if anybody knows, I mean, like, I have 5 myself, my other buddy has 3. I mean, it's fun, man, but hey, that's fantasy, man. That season's over with. We're here to talk the real men. I guess that they are real men still in fantasy football too, but we're here to talk about the games that matter. We got 9 in total left in the NFL, 4 games left in the not regular season, 4 games left this weekend. We got 2 next weekend. Then we got 1. My math might be off a little bit. I forget when I said it was 9. It might have been last week. Man, we got all that, and then
we got 4 this weekend, 2 next weekend. I think we got 7 games left.
Where was I getting 9 from? I guess I was counting the Natty. So we should have had 8.
And the
yeah,
Pro
I was off
Bowl?
by 1.
I know how y'all do it.
And the Pro Bowl, baby. No, I wasn't counting that dumb shit. No offense. They need to fix that. Take the Pro Bowl back to Hawaii.
Yeah. and don't play the game. Just do all the skills competition.
I agree. We don't
And
need to
don't do
see
that flag football bullshit. Don't none of that shit. But I get it. You know what I realized? This for the kids. When I was 11,
Yeah.
I was watching all that shit. It ain't for me.
Honestly, if they brought it back to real thing they need to do, honestly, bring it back to Hawaii because they'll get more of the actual like stars to come. Because there was Pat McAfee's mentioned on the show multiple times. He was excited to actually go to Hawaii. That's one of the main reasons he accepted. It's like, yeah, let's go to Hawaii. And then that was the year hey, we're going to Arizona. And we're doing community projects. We're doing this and we're doing that. I mean, they gotta. Well, that's the whole thing. We don't need to get into that. We're wasting time on the Pro Bowl, man. Let's be honest. Because we ain't gonna talk about it again after today. Let's be honest. Well, in case it'd be like, hey, congrats on being a Pro Bowler. Still, I'm not gonna say a high honor, but still an honor. I mean,
it means a lot more when you retire than it does in the moment. Like to say 4-time Pro Bowler, but right now if somebody gets invited to the Pro Bowl, they're like, I don't give a fuck.
Especially after last year, real quick, sorry to end it, when they were like, or 2 years ago when we had like Snoop Huntley, those lines of quarterback was like Snoop Huntley, Carson Beck, Quinn Ewers as a freshman in high school. Like they had a bunch of names where it's like, this is the 5th, 8th, 9th option here at the Pro Bowl. Derek Carr, I think, made it.
The greatest are in the Super Bowl. So you really missing out. And when it was after the Super Bowl, you would get 4 or 5 more big names fresh off of the fucking Super Bowl. Pat Mahomes, T. Kelsey, whoever the fuck. You missing out on literally 8 or 9 of the biggest names every year just because
the way they moved it, yeah. Which I get at the same time, but at the same time it's like But you know what we say around here about that. Who cares?
F it. Let's start off.
I say, what do you want to start off with? Oh,
Ohio State.
We're starting off with college, okay.
Ohio State. That's how we done it all year, baby.
I know, but I didn't know if we're gonna change it up because the natty save it for last. But no, I like it. Start off with a banger.
It ain't that special. It's also gonna be a horrible game if you ask me. Notre Dame plus 8.5. I'll give about 2 cents real quick, and then I'll give the floor to you. This is the time of year where you look at it and you just gotta jump off the bandwagon. Throw your money in the back seat of the favorite. Ohio State, trash ass Buckeyes, minus 8.5. They winning this thing 48-10.
Okay.
That's my 2 cents.
Are you done being an Irish hater?
Huh?
I said you done being an Irish hater so I can speak now?
I love the Irish, bruh. It's just I hate Ohio State. This will be my first and hopefully my only time betting Ohio State. I know I look like I didn't plan this either. Now that I'm thinking about it, gray and red.
I was about to say you repping the colors today, man. I want to represent the Irish green, but with the green screen, that kind of doesn't work. No, but go on. I'm in the same, very similar boat as you, honestly, where I'm like, so I will talk to this as a fan point of view first. No, I won't. I actually want to bring up some major stuff. So before I talk about how, honestly, I took Notre Dame plus 9.5, Notre Dame money line at plus 300 or whatever before it dropped to 8.5. I do think generally Ohio State has a really good chance to win this game. I mean, if you saw what they did against Texas, I mean, Texas was in that game, yes. Like you're sitting there, it's like, yeah, Texas is in that game, but I was sitting there kind of like, man, they really aren't in this game too much, are they? And then they lose by 14. I understand there was a fumble 6. There's a lot of weird, but it's one of those weird things where you're sitting there, it's like, it felt like they were in the game, but at the same time, it's kind of like, are they? So that's going to be one of the Notre Dame's biggest things is like they have to stay in this game. And Notre Dame, they can't get down too big in the first half. Most of these playoff games, it's second half rally, and they're down like 10 points. They're down. I think they were up against Georgia. I can't remember fully, but it's one of those things where they got to keep it close. And being one-dimensional, it's going to be an issue. And not only are they one-dimensional, I mean, my biggest fear with Notre Dame is the injuries they've had. Offensive linemen. The original starter they started the season with, he's going to be starting at left tackle now because the freshman who took his job at the beginning of the season because of injury, he's not playing in this game. So that's another offensive line injury that Notre Dame's dealing with. On the defensive side, their defensive line, I mean, I think they've lost the defensive lineman every round of the playoffs, damn near. And they lost one of their studs like 2, 4, 5 weeks ago, which really sucks. So it's getting to the point now where that defensive line is like, they're still good, but it's like we're talking. It's getting to that point where you start to look at it a little bit like, oh, I don't know, man. But overall, like I said, biggest thing to Notre Dame. All that being said, biggest reason I also like Notre Dame is just they got some goddamn dogs on that team, man. I mean, this is one of those teams, man. You want to talk about resiliency against Penn State, man? They looked horrible at first, and they went in the half.
I was just about to bring that up, and let me just say this.
Go ahead.
That's one of my biggest factors. They barely beat a Penn State team who had, 13 passing yards?
I know, man, Drew Aller lost them completely that game. I mean, he played horrible in that game, when you look at it from that point as well, I can understand, like, yeah, those things. But what if this is one of those situations? It's like, I'm kind of also looking at this like the Pittsburgh Steelers. What if they just drag them down to the mud? That's what Notre Dame needs to do. If Notre Dame's going to win this game and you want to win this game, under is probably going to be close to hitting, if not damn near a lock to hit. And you're going to want this to be about a 20-17-ish game. If Ohio State gets anywhere into like 24-28 range, Ohio State scores over 28, Notre Dame's probably not winning, honestly, because they're really one-dimensional. The run game's really, really good, but passing game's not the best. With all that being said, though, I like Notre Dame personally plus 8.5. That's my favorite bet. I'm taking on the money line as a fan. And remind you people, I've been a Notre Dame fan my whole damn life, so yeah, it's hard not to take them in this spot, but I'm also very aware. Think of this as like TCU Georgia, where there's a chance this could get really, really ugly. But thankfully,
that's exactly what I'm thinking.
Thankfully, though, I think that Notre Dame has a better chance of staying in this game, because not only because I think Riley Leonard's a dog and he's a gamer, Marcus Freeman, man, that guy can coach. And what Notre Dame needs to do to win this game the best, they need to get Ohio State to quit throwing the ball. You saw what they did against Michigan. Be like, oh, you can't run the ball on us soft boys. And Marcus Freeman just needs to yell, soft boy, across the sideline a few times with Ryan Day to get in his head, because that's what Notre Dame's biggest thing they can do. And Ryan Day starts getting pouty a little bit, starts getting a little sad on the sidelines. That inks to his whole team. When he's sitting there confident, running up the sideline, team's all with him. And that's where I think the biggest edge Marcus Freeman can get. If he can get Ryan Day to have some doubt, to start looking like a little bit pouty, a little bit like frustrated and all that, you might see the trickle effect down on the players. But all that being said, though, I'm going to go into my bets now. Because like I said, it's hard not to take Ohio State, but
Man, just picturing Ryan Day pisses me off, bro. I hate Ohio State, but I'm laying the 8.5, bro. I'm taking Ohio State minus 8.5. I think they win this thing by 30.
31-17 is my score. I think if Ohio State wins, if Notre Dame wins, I kind of like a 24-17 game, 27-20, something very similar to Penn. I think it's going to be very similar to how the Penn State game went. But
like you said, Notre Dame got to hold Ohio State to under 24 to win this thing, I think. 28 is reaching. But yeah, go ahead with all your all the stuff you're looking at and liking.
Yeah, you said it better. But basically, 24-28. The second, if Ohio State has like 20 points in the first half, yeah, it's over, Johnny. No, but anyway, like I said, I got some fun bets for you. The big running back day for me. Quinshon Judkins minus 105, Trevion Henderson plus 105. Only two guys I'm thinking score touchdowns. I don't mind Jeremiah Smith, but he's going to be heavily focused, and he had a really quiet game last game, so I'm very curious about the bounce back there. Notre Dame-wise, it's easy for me. Jeremiah Love plus 135, Riley Leonard plus 145. Jeremiah Love's automatic bet for me. I mean, that kid is special, as they say. And I'm not talking special. I'm talking special. He's truly, truly amazing. I expect him to get – I mean, he's probably like 85, 90% at this point. So he's not 100%, but Marcus Freeman said he's the healthiest. He's pretty much been all playoffs at this point. So I'm excited to see how he looks. No passing props for you in this game. Receiving props for you in this game. I do got one passing prop for you. And you were here last week, people. You know what it is. Riley Leonard, over a half passing touchdown, minus 180. Horrible odds, but this is one of those ones, remember, pair it with something that has a little bit of juice on it, and you'll be gold. Like last week for us, it was Notre Dame money line. Riley Leonard throw a passing touchdown like plus 120, plus 140, something like that. Loved it. So I would throw that with something you like, personally. Some other – I didn't write them down. That makes sense. I was confused. I'm like, damn, where's all my college bets at? Didn't write them down. Anyway, rushing yards. I like Jeremiah Love over 41.5. I think this was at 45.5 yesterday, I want to say. Or is that 40.5? It either dropped hella early and went up a yard, but I love his rushing at that because that just feels low. And he's Notre Dame's arguably best player. And then I think once we took the Riley Leonard we took Riley Leonard touchdown, Jeremiah Love touchdown. I think that probably does do this for this game. I'll admit, I'm going to have an article written out where I probably find a little bit more in here, but this is one of those games where it's like it's hard to bet as a fan, and college player props are the most frustrating thing on earth, especially for Notre Dame and Ohio State, who are offenses that spread out the ball a lot.
Best thing my state did this season, because last year I was going bananas. We're banned from betting props on college football.
I can't bet them live. I can bet them pregame, can't bet them live, and that's honestly more irritating, I think, than not being able to bet them at all. As a guy who loves live betting, because that's crazy. You guys can't bet props. It makes sense, though.
All my screen has is spread, total, money line. and then I can do alternate spreads and alternate totals.
Man, I'm sorry for wasting 5 minutes of your time, then, man.
Nah, you talking to the world, bro. You talking to
G.
the
Scott
people.
over 17.5, by the way. Feels a little low.
Anything
Receiving
over
yards.
17.5 sounds good.
That's their tight end for
Yeah.
Ohio State.
Man.
Yeah, college's going to be fun, man. Going to be a fun one. Might be a blowout. Might also be a fun one.
Yeah. Oh, man. I'm going to be honest. I'm not going to say it.
You can say it. You can say it.
I'm
Come on.
not going to be watching this shit.
Oh, I didn't expect you to say that. Boo.
Yeah, they need to put it on ABC, bro.
What's it on?
ESPN.
Isn't that the same thing?
I don't pay for cable till February, bro. February, March, I'm on a strict old man budget.
Yeah.
I pay for cable for college hoops only.
See, that's funny because that's about college hoops when it's over. That's when I'm like, all right, see you in August, YouTube TV.
Yeah, I cancel that shit, and then I do the MLB TV, and then I come back and do. But yeah, I haven't done it yet this year. I don't know why. I've been getting all my games on the illegal streaming.
Whoa!
FBI just knocking on the door.
I was about to say.
But I don't know. I might watch this bitch, but I'm not looking forward to it. I shouldn't have even said it like I said.
No, hey. This is like we said, TCU Georgia. I'm getting some scary vibes about that game.
Yeah, and I just feel like I don't know, bro. It's gonna break my heart watching Ohio State dog walk Notre Dame. I'm a Fighting Irish fan more than I'm ever Ohio State fan. Like Notre Dame is one of my top 5 favorite basketball programs ever. Always root for them since I saw Rudy as a kid, and I absolutely hate Ohio State.
Yeah. I thought my family did too, but apparently all them damn Purdue fans would rather support Ohio State over Notre Dame, so fuck them.
Now that's crazy.
No, it's Purdue. I know Purdue and Notre Dame do have a pretty decent rivalry, but yeah, I tell you what, I mentioned IU in that group chat. I mentioned Notre Dame in that group chat. Oh boy, never felt like I want to get kicked out of a group chat more. Was not welcomed.
Money line. Somebody told me that on TikTok.
Like, all right, sorry, I'm not talking about 1-11. Trash ass Purdue, man. Fuck. No, but we national championship should be fun. I just realistically can't believe we're already here. Like, man, Monday it's over. College football's
over, bro.
And it's like immediately it's like the madness is here. That's how it goes for me. Second college football is over. It's madness season.
Yeah, man, it's gone fast, bro. I feel like it was just November 4th.
I feel like we just had the first episode of the year. Week 1, best bets.
It does feel like that.
Now
I remember us talking about. I remember us being on like week 3, week 4 NFL, like talking about. Yeah. Anyway,
all the crazy
storylines. NFL. For some reason, these cable networks don't know what the hell they doing. We get the Monday night game on Saturday morning.
Yeah, they have these crews all
get the Sunday night game on Sunday morning. CBS get the Sunday night game. I don't know what the hell going on. But anyway, Texans, baby, plus 8.5 on the road at Kansas City. Total set at 41.5 here. All season, we've seen the Chiefs not cover. All season, we've seen the Chiefs hit unders. All season. Is this the game you think the Chiefs finally blow somebody out? And is this the game we finally see this offense click and we see a bleeping over hit? 41.5 is such a low total for me, in my opinion. I think both of these teams could drop 20 easily, but I don't know. I've also seen the Texans within the last month only score 2 points in a football game.
That boy Rax, shout out. No, honestly, I'm in the same. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm to that point where I'm leaning like, you know what? The Chiefs been waiting all season for this moment. This is kind of probably where now we go. Now we go. That's kind of how I feel about the Chiefs here. I lean to 8.5. I will give out a spread in every one of these games. I'll admit this is one I'm kind of scared of to bet. The second most behind. We'll get to the other one, but Chiefs minus 8.5. That's where my lean is. I just think they win this game by about 10. I see this going eerily similar to how the Texans-Chargers went, except reverse roles. With Texans heading into Kansas City, I mean, their offensive biggest reason I think this too is the Texans' offensive line. Like, yes, Joe Mixon was running the ball well, but their offensive line, I didn't forget they were 32nd ranked in the NFL. Like, the offensive line stinks. That thing's stanky. So, biggest thing that they're going to have to do is protect CJ Stroud, which I don't know if they're going to fully be able to. And biggest thing, so like I said, I'm probably going to put Chiefs. I tried to find like Chiefs money line with other stuff. I just couldn't get there because of odds and everything. It's like, I will admit, teaser leg does go crazy, gets it to 2.5, which makes it a lot better. But I think the 8.5 will cover at this point. If it doesn't cover, they're probably going to be a little bit down at half, and you'll get an even better number, and then they're going to end up covering that number. Because I think regardless, they just win this game. I don't see a world where the Texans win just based on what I've seen from them in their season body of work.
I came into this show, I was like 80%. I like Texas plus 8.5. 20% that Chiefs defense is going to treat Texans like a high school team.
Mm-hmm.
And you just 100% moved me. I'm a bet Chiefs 8.5. Chiefs minus 8.5.
This is the best way. If the Chiefs can shut down Joe Mixon, like CJ Stroud, like he has Nico Collins, they'll focus on him. Like they lost Stephon Diggs, they lost Tank Dell. They're running out. They had Deontay Johnson on that team. And they just cut his ass because he was like, man, why ain't getting any catches, boy? It's like, you've been here 2 weeks, boy, get the hell out of here. So there's a lot. I don't know. It's just the Texans team too. It's nothing against CJ Stroud, truly. The offensive line kind of stanky. They're missing some wide receivers. If they can't get anything going with Joe Mixon, it's going to be a long day for CJ Stroud. But
that 2 points on Christmas just stuck in my fucking head.
Yeah, and you know what? And they came out, and you know what? They played their asses off against the Chargers. Defense even came out like, yeah, we were embarrassed. We need to get that lick back. Now it's like all of a sudden you have that energy. Now it's back to an even playing field. You don't got that, man. We just got our ass kicked. We need to bounce back. Now it's like, all right, we're going into Kansas City to play the Chiefs. So I could argue might have more motivation to win this game than the Texans. Because, like, obviously Texans want to keep moving on. But the Chiefs are like, we want that three-peat, man. We want that three-peat. So that's something I'm really going to feed into. Prop-wise, I have one touchdown score I absolutely love. Absolutely love it. That boy, Travis Kelce, plus 160. Mahomes already came out. And he didn't say it like this, but I'll word it like this. He's like, hey, the Lambo keys, they're getting put in the car. We're getting this Lambo out the garage. Travis Kelce's been kind of quiet all season. They kept him down low, get him ready for this time.
Oh.
Yeah. So they're saving him for the playoffs.
Yeah.
Can't let him get hurt or anything. This is where I think he really goes. And man, Xavier Worthy, Hollywood Brown, getting those guys going towards the end of the season, I think that's perfect because that gives the defense they can't solely focus on Travis Kelce because now it's going to be like, man, we don't want Worthy bursts down the sideline. Hollywood Brown get open underneath. So I like Travis Kelce to score a touchdown. And you want to get nasty with me, people. Plus 1,400, Travis Kelce, 2-time touchdowns. I think that I genuinely think he might score twice in this game. Just because if it's not this game, I'm probably going to bet him score twice every game in the rest of the playoffs because I think it happens at least once. I just don't know when. It just feels like if all the games happen, this might be the best one. Speaking of that, too, I also like Travis Kelce's receiving over at 16.5 yards, if that's still what it's at. Oh, sorry. 52.5 receiving yards. It went way higher. I like it at 52.5 receiving yards. I like his over 5.5. 6 for 62 scores. That's kind of where my base stat line is. I think he's at least going to get 6 for 60. Touchdown-wise, who knows? It could end up not going to it, but I at least think to get 6 for 60 at the minimum in this game, which would hit both those overs pretty easily. I like Mahomes over 1.5 passing touchdowns. I think the Chiefs are going to drop 28-ish points to 30, so that gives him a lot of room. And the final bet, Samaje Perine over 9.5 receiving yards. All the running backs receiving yards are super, super low, but you look at Samaje last few weeks, like 1 for 13, 1 for 11, 2 for 20. So basically, we're just hoping for a third down, check down. He gets a massive game, or we get 2.
I was about to say he's definitely that back that's coming in the block and slipping out.
And I think personally too, I think they're trying to trick you a little bit, because they got Samaje Perine 9.5. They also have Kareem Hunt plus 6.5, Isaiah Pacheco plus 5.5. I looked at those two guys' numbers. They're low numbers, so I would take them if they were low numbers. But look, I mean they don't hit those very often. So Samaje Perine feels like the little golden nugget. It feels like they have two. What's that? Remember Indiana Jones and the Temple, not Temple of Doom, but the third one, the Last Crusade? When you want to find the Holy Grail, it feels like the Holy Grail was Samaje Perine sitting right there, and you got all these fancy shiny cups right around it, and you got Samaje Perine right there for you.
Yeah, I love it. Isn't it funny how the Chiefs' biggest problem, week 7 or 8, was wide receiver depth?
I will admit, biggest problem now, yeah, that was it. Now their biggest problem is the offensive line depth. They have Joe Tooney, who's I was about to say All-American. This ain't college, baby. He's an All-Pro left or right guard, forget which position, that is playing tackle because their tackle positions have been so ass. So that's going to be the Chiefs. That's where you get the Chiefs. The offensive line for the Chiefs, a little bit sketchy too. So if you can get a great pass rush, I mean, they'll be in trouble. But let's be honest, they're the Chiefs. They'll figure it out.
Mahomes is good enough, bro. He don't need a great line. It's nice when he has one, but I mean, he can scramble, gamble, and boom, D-Hop's 18 yards on the sideline.
Yeah.
Xavier Worthy slashing. I mean, you got Hollywood Brown, D-Hop, Xavier Worthy, and then a washed-up Juju Smith-Schuster.
Travis Kelce, Samaje Perine, Isaiah Pacheco, Kareem Hunt. I mean, he has too many people to get the ball to.
Man.
So real quick, just for this game, Chiefs minus 8.5. If I was going to take it. Travis Kelce anytime touchdown. Travis Kelce 2-time touchdown. Mahomes over 1.5 passing touchdowns. Kelce over 52.5 receiving yards, over 5.5 receptions. Samaje Perine over 9.5 receiving yards.
Probably gonna bet all that with you. I'm definitely gonna be on the Kelce stuff. 2
Man,
and the 8.5 on the Chiefs. Like I said, man, coming into the show, I was like, man, Chiefs never cover. I'm gonna be on the Texans 8.5. But damn, I can't do it. You can't do it.
Feels like the time they cover, right? Like if they're gonna cover, it's gonna be now. I mean, they've been waiting all season to just. Yeah. They've been, and this last year they were finding. Travis Kelce, I thought, said it beautifully on the Pat McAfee show this week to end this point. He said last year it felt like they were finding ways to lose. This year he says they're finding ways to win. And a team that's just like that, I mean, that's hard to fade a team like that.
Man, if you remember early Tom Brady's career, he was throwing like 11 for 17, 110 yards, 1 touchdown, but they was just winning effing ball games. I think Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes realized I don't have to throw 400 yards. I don't have to be Superman. All we got to win, baby. Game. Yeah.
You just got to win, baby.
We cruise. We get to the playoffs. It's LeBron and D-Wade time. Not really. They only won 2. Shout out to my man JCP, the Heat fan over here, baby. Had to shoot a slug at him.
Man, you got to bring that up, man. I get it. Jimmy Butler wants gone. We're talking NFL playoffs. I don't want to talk about it.
The Commanders of Washington, baby. They're plus 9.5 on the road in Detroit. The Lions roaring. The total set at 55 in the hook here. If anybody, and I mean anybody, can cover this 9.5, I think Jaden Daniels has the talent alone to keep this game close. My only worry is you're looking at both of these defenses. Lions defense head and shoulders above the Commanders defense. They do have a lot of injuries. Yeah, you know more about that than me. But I will say something about Jaden Daniels. He has it, whatever it is. I want to take the Commanders plus 9.5. I think it's going to be a shootout. I'm thinking 38-31. I think Washington's offense will keep up with Detroit's offense until they don't.
Yeah. This is a battle of 2 coaches that go very same way. Dan Quinn, before the beginning of the season came out, he's like, I'm going to regret if I don't go for it on 4th down. All right, Dan Campbell 2.0. I love it. Yeah. No, I'll read a little thing to you. So October 20th, the Commanders stomped the Panthers 40-7. After that, we got the Bears, this game, 18-15. Giants, 27-22. Steelers, 28-27. Eagles, 26-18. Cowboys, 34-26. Titans, 42-19. That's going to be the outlier in this situation. They had their bye. Then they had the Saints, 20-19. This is now December 15th towards the playoff. Saints, 20-19. Eagles, 36-33. Falcons, 30-24. Cowboys, 23-19. Bucks, 23-20. Now, if I was a man who used my brain, I noticed a common theme right there. I don't see a lot of double digits. I think, and generally, too, another thing to the Lions, big Lion fan that I know, or I guess I don't know, I know of, and listen to him a lot talk about it. He says the biggest issue the Lions always have is rushing quarterbacks. Rushing quarterbacks always give them an issue, always give them problems. Can Jaden Daniels run the football?
There's going to be some 3rd and 7s. Jaden Daniels changes this ball game, keeps the drive alive, keeps that hot-ass Jared Goff offense on the sideline. And, man.
And one last point.
What I heard from all the stuff you were saying about the scores.
Yeah.
Commanders and Jaden Daniels found a way to win it at the end. I'm going to be on plus 9.5 on Washington.
Same. And the biggest, another thing, too, Lions. I thought I reevaluated their defense. I'm like, all right, sweet. So their defense is amazing now. Like, their defense is really good after the game against the Vikings. Then you watch the Rams, whose defense is okay, probably a year or 2 away from being truly great as it is. I know Shula's a good coach, but you watch a game like that, and it's like...
You realize it's the Vikings.
Or is it Sam Darnold? So then you sit there. You truly sit there. I was sitting there. I won't lie. After that Rams game, I'm sitting there like, that completely changed the game for me because I was kind of scared of the Commanders minus 9.5, and I watched that. It's like, maybe the Lions defense isn't horrible. Like, they're definitely better, but, like, maybe, just maybe, Sam Darnold was having 13 pass rushers hit him every time he thought. So that's kind of where I'm leaning there, where I'm like, I got to take the Commanders. Well, I think the Lions, another situation, Lions win, Commanders probably cover. So Commies plus
I think it's a
9.5.
backdoor situation too. Real quick before you get into props,
I can see that.
I think this is one of those games where we think we lost, and for some reason, out of nowhere, for no reason, they bring it from a 14 or a 15-point game to a 7-8 point game, and the Lions kneel the clock out.
I can see it, honestly. I wouldn't be shocked. This is definitely, if anything, a backdoor situation would be beautiful, because this would scream like Giants are up like, what, 34-20, something like that, and then they get a late touchdown. It's just like, all the Lions fans who bet the 9.5 are pissed. All the Commanders fans are like, never a doubt, baby. But some quick bets.
And Dan Campbell celebrate.
Yeah, as they move on, it's gonna be fun, man. This should be one of the better games of the weekend. Yeah. Gibbs. By the way, shout out to the NFC for actually getting some new teams in. If you don't remember, or if you do remember, last year, AFC, we're basically redoing the playoffs from last year. But I think the matches were a bit flipped. I think it was Ravens, Texans, Chiefs, Bills, I believe, off the top of my head. But it's going to be a fun one. For this game, though, back to this. Jahmyr Gibbs over 8.5 rushing yards. Zach Ertz over 29.5 receiving yards. I misread that. I was meaning to do all my rush yards together, all my receiving yards together. Let me back up. Jahmyr Gibbs over 8.5 rushing. I just don't know how much work David Montgomery's going to get first game back. So we're going to have to just keep an eye on that. I'm a bit scared of the over for Jahmyr Gibbs, but at the same time, it's like he's too good. I mean, he can bust a 30-yard touchdown like it's nothing, and then, boom, we got 50 yards left. Like, he's so explosive that 80 yards feels pretty good. And then receiving-wise, we got one Lions guy, Tim Patrick, over 1.5 receptions. Didn't like his yardage total, felt a little too high. 2 receptions feels pretty decent for, like, dump downs on third down situations potentially. And then 2 more receiving things I got for you. Zach Ertz over 29.5 receiving yards, and De'Ami Brown over 2.5 receptions. Zach Ertz, I just like the number under 30. I want to take Terry McLaurin, but his number was a little bit too high. So it's one of those situations where I want to bet one of these receivers. I just don't like his being too high. Zach Ertz felt like an okay number, but I'll admit, a little bit nervous about it. That's probably my least favorite bet I gave out. And then for De'Ami Brown, over 2.5 receptions, I think he's hit that 5 games in a row. So NBA Jam, he's heating up.
He's on fire.
So yeah, for this game, Commies being the Commanders plus 9.5, Jahmyr Gibbs over 80.5 rushing yards, Zach Ertz over 29.5 receiving yards, De'Ami Brown over 2.5 receptions, Tim Patrick over 1.5 receptions. This is gonna be a great live betting game.
I was just about to say, if you know anything about JC, like I do, he's gonna catch some motherfucker. Like I could see a Terry McLaurin plus 800 touchdown ticket cashing in the beginning of the fourth for both of them.
Alame Zacchaeus scoring in the second quarter. Plus 800, like, let's go. No, this is truly a live betting game because Dayton, like, you could tell, like, it was one of the kids, like, last week, the way he was targeting Terry McLaurin, like, on one of those deep, like, it was literally, I bet Terry McLaurin after one deep ball where it's like, oh, he getting one. Like, there's some plays where you can know, like, you just got to find the players. Like, you can find some plays where they're setting stuff up where you can see, like, the scheme. Like, that deep ball Terry, it's like, oh, yeah, they're setting stuff up. And I'm sure enough, I think he scored his touchdown either on a slant or, like, kind of a hitch route where he kind of came up, immediately stopped, and then Joe the hands, baby.
Now, I will say I've had some of the greatest moments in my life betting Terry McLaurin at halftime, anytime touchdowns at great, huge numbers. And I've had some of the most disappointing losses betting Terry McLaurin alive plus 800 to score a touchdown.
Him and Cortland Sutton are probably like 2 of my most favorite boys that I hate to love. Can't tell you how many times I bet on those guys to score touchdowns. It's unbelievable. Always looking like, man, I bet on him 4 times. What the hell?
Yeah. Nah, and then, it's one of those things where you just look at yourself like, it's my fault. It's not his fault.
Yeah. Like, come on, man. You bet on him 4 times. Like, he wasn't going to score after the first one. What made you think that next 3 were going to hit?
Yeah, you know, with 4 tickets. Oh, my gosh.
Dude, yeah, you got a plus 120, a plus 330, plus 800, a plus 12,000 the last drive. You're just sitting there like, what if it hit, though?
Man, I will say one of my favorite things is texting you during a game that we both watching, like primetime games where it's standalone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I know during the day you watching Red Zone and Colts, I'm watching Saints. But when it gets down to Sunday Night Football, we both locked in. That shit is amazing.
It's like I know this is a horrible comparison, but it's like a battlefield. You know, I'm on this side, and you just kind of just end up converging in the middle. Like, oh shit, my boy!
Yeah,
you made it through this shit. Hell yeah! I was like, you. Shout out, Bub, man.
We got some big wins this year together.
5 weeks too late, sadly. Oh wait, no, was that a different guy? That
That's
was
the one that
Pettis.
hit.
That's Pettis. That was Pettis.
Yeah,
Shout
yeah.
out Bub Memes, man. Shout out Bub Memes.
That shit was crazy, bro. Chris
Hey.
Olave gets concussed. I just text you Bub means anytime plus 1700.
Got it before the odds dropped a lot too.
Nah, yeah. By the time I text you and looked again, it was like down to 800.
Yeah, when it was like what, like 1300.
So, yeah,
Live betting this time of
1700.
year is the best, and I will admit, touchdown score wise, you got to be careful because these games are starting to get to that point where you got to be a sniper, man.
Yeah, you got to earn it. The Los Angeles Rams, speaking of earning it, they're
Roms.
going to Philadelphia to take on the Eagles, who I think got more problems than CBS daytime television. I'm talking soap operas, people. We got motherfuckers reading books on the sideline. You heard Jalen Hurts?
Excellence.
That was my favorite quote of the season. He said, I ain't never seen the motherfucker read, but I seen him holding some books.
Man, see, hear something like that makes me think, man, they all right. Them boys are good, man.
It makes me think the opposite.
Where he's sitting there, he's like, man, this dumb motherfucker, man.
I ain't never seen his ass read. I seen him hold some books. I like a lot of dogs this week. Haven't decided on this game, but Rams +6. I feel like just with Stafford alone, and McVay, they could keep it within a touchdown. Probably going to be on Rams +6. The total 44. I like the over, but it makes me nervous. I took Eagles Packers over last week, and it was the one bet that burned me on Sunday. Went 3-1 on everything else, but Rams +6 is where I lean. Where you at on this Rams? You think they finally run out of steam after having one of the craziest flip flops of the season, going from 1-4 to winning the division?
Yeah.
Or do you think the
crazy.
Eagles can fight through another week of drama?
I'll admit, this will be probably the only game we're opposite on today. I'm actually on the Eagles -6.5, and this was the bet I'm probably the least confident in just because of the variability of the Eagles. Because there's some games where they just play like last game. It felt like they were playing awful. They win 22-10, cover easily. It's like, oh, okay, they're fucking 4.5. So I just wonder if it's gonna be another situation like that. Rams also emotionally, where are they at? Another similar situation to the Texans last week, where it felt like last week was kind of their rally cry, where for LA, and they did all that and everything, and boys played hard, boys played awesome. I also aren't playing Sam Darnold this week too. Eagles, even though they've been having all their issues, like they've generally been a good football team. Just comes down to Jalen Hurts, man. He's way better outside the numbers. Shout out to Dan Orlovsky. He went into real good depth on this yesterday. I actually learned a lot from him yesterday. He was talking about like Jalen Hurts, like how he outside the numbers, he's been really, really good this year. But for whatever reason, man, inside the numbers, there's just some hesitation there. There's just something mentally that's just not right. I don't know if it's the protection not holding up. He doesn't trust the line, doesn't trust his read, doesn't trust the receiver. I don't know what it is exactly. But Dan Orlovsky went into this whole thing about like he's just middle of the numbers has just been weird for him. So that he really needs to get that figured out with the confidence. And it's a confidence thing. He made it sound like. Now is it because, like I said, the receivers, offensive line, him? I don't know, but that's really where Jalen Hurts needs to step up a little bit. But man, how can I fade Saquon Barkley, man? That dude is insane. He won him the game last week because Jalen Hurts played okay.
Man, just to flip flop 3 times in one sentence. The Rams, Sam Darnold makes me take a little bit away from the Rams win. But then you say the Eagles, if they do what they did against the Packers last week, Matthew Stafford can put up 23, 24 points.
Yeah, I mean, he really can. Like, he can get them. God, that's the thing where they really got to like the Eagles defensively. They've been pretty good. It's just offensively, I'm very interested to see what they do this week. They're going to have to get the receivers involved a bit more, so that way AJ Brown isn't reading inner excellence on the sideline and he's a little bit more focused on the game. He said he's been doing it all season. I ain't getting those waters. Anyway, though,
AJ Brown, bro, I love the kid. Tremendous talent. LeBron James level cap on everything he said.
Hey, I'll admit my sources. We'll have to do some digging on that. I'll come back to you with that one. But no, I think Eagles win this game. This may be another one. If Eagles win, Rams probably cover. There's a chance. We're going with the trio per usual. You know how we be around here. Take one -180, Hurts -115, AJ Brown +140. Especially after inner focus, I feel like he's going to be focused on getting that touchdown this week. No, I had to throw it in there. Touchdown wise, I'll admit I'm pissed after last week. How does Saquon, Jalen Hurts, and AJ Brown not score? I don't get that. Like one of those guys. This is the first time all season I think where one of those guys didn't score. So I'm kind of distraught. Don't know how to look at it that way. So I'm probably going to stay away from touchdown. I'll admit I'm just giving out some guys. I'm probably going to be live betting touchdown scores all weekend. I'm just giving out guys I think I kind of like because can't really come back on your show in the middle of a game going on and be like, oh, by the way, I like this guy now. Even though it'd be awesome if I could. But prop-wise, kind of short and sweet this game. Nothing too crazy. Got Matt Stafford over 1.5 passing touchdowns. I just think that offensively, another game where they probably score. Will they score 20s? I don't know. I project them to be potentially in there. And for plus 148, especially for Matt Stafford, that ain't too bad. Like that one, 1.5 reception over for Demarcus Robinson. I was just trying to find receiving prop. When I was looking through the receiving props, like Puka Nacua, it's just a mental thing for me. Like, yes, he's good, but 87.5 yards. Like, man, so I'm really going to bet on this dude to basically get 100 yards in the game. Like, I don't know if I want to do all that, man. Demarcus Robinson's over.
And then he comes out the first play and catches a 27-yarder.
Yeah, and then the third play he catches another 20-yarder, and then he's grabbing his knee like he has the last like 4 games. So it's like, I don't know. It's just weird. It's a weird thing with him where it's like it probably will hit. It's just so damn big. I do like Saquon's over 12.5. I might be tempted to take that. I didn't see that yesterday. That one's not past
11.5 elsewhere.
Ooh, let's go. I like that 11.5 a little bit more. Demarcus Robinson over 1.5 receiving yards, or sorry, 1.5 receptions. His receiving yards are about 20. If you look at his stats, he gets kind of close to that number, but so the receptions felt a lot safer. And like I said, this was a game where I wanted to get one of the receiving options. Pukas didn't like his. Cooper Kupp, that dude is just, he won the Super Bowl 2 years ago, and they basically just had him as like, hey, if we need somebody, just stay ready for us. That dude just running laps out there at this point. I think there's a game ran 4.5 miles and didn't get a single target. I don't like hearing stats like that, people. So then we'll move on as well to Gainwell. Oh, sorry, Puka.
I'm slapping somebody. At least throw that motherfucker over my head out of bounds or something.
All right, give me a target, please. Yeah. No receptions, no targets, no nothing. I got last way to end it. I got rush yards for you. Puka Nacua over 2.5. This is a simple rush yards. I wanted to take it last week, so I saw it 2.5. But I'm like, man, it's a receiver. Are they really going to do it? 1 rush for 7 yards. So it's like, all right. So I'm going to take it this week. Will it hit? Probably not because I'm a week late on it, but it's just a number play where it's like I didn't take it last week. I'm mad at myself for not taking it. I kind of like it again this week, so we'll take it because, I mean, that's one end around where he just cuts it up, falls for 3 yards, and they probably don't run that play again. So, or the way I've seen it as well, this kind of goes with Kenneth Gainwell, where it could be nice. You can get a bubble screen that goes back. If he's far enough back, that will count technically as a rush, and then it'll have forward momentum running forward. And Puka's a big boy. He's going to fall forward for like 3-4 yards. And then Kenneth Gainwell for 9.5 rushing yards. I just think when he comes in this build, Saquon Barkley, he's a bit of a different back, so I feel like 9.5 is like, if he gets, there's been games he has 6 carries for 6 yards, like, I don't see that. What I see is the 6 carries. I see 6 opportunities. I don't see failure. I see opportunities. So I like the opportunity for him to get 9.5 rushing yards. So bets officially for this game, Eagles minus 6.5, kind of sketchy about it. Matt Stafford over 1.5 passing touchdowns. Demarcus Robinson over 1.5 receiving yard or receptions. Puka Nacua over 2.5 rushing yards. Kenneth Gainwell over 9.5 rushing yards.
Yeah. I think I am going to take the Rams plus 6. And I'm probably going
to. I can't blame you. Tell you what, if you want to get a little nasty boy teaser going, you can get those Rams up to like 12, 13.5. Get Notre Dame up to 14.5. Get the Chiefs down to like 2.5.
If I tease Ohio State, Notre Dame, I'm teasing Ohio State now.
And you're going to be a loser.
Man, bro. I don't even know what to say. I feel sorry for your loss already.
I won't lie to you. Before we get to the last game, the last time Notre Dame was in the national championship, Alabama, 2011, 2012, whatever year that was. To this day, I remember turning that game off second quarter. Look back, 38-3, I think it was, or whatever it was. It was bad.
So what's going to happen this week? Marcus Freeman been thinking about the Bears all week. Get that bag.
The Bears have been thinking about Marcus Freeman. He doesn't want any of that garbage-ass shit. Man, Bears stink, man. Sorry for my Bears fans, though. Y'all really do stink.
Yeah, it sounds like your boy McCarthy's going to be over there within a week.
Not horrible. I mean, that's not a horrible hire for them. That feels a lot better than... They need a coach. He's a good coach. They need a good coach over there. That's one of those situations where, like, now if Mike McCarthy went to the 49ers, that might be one where you go, like, fuck is that? But going to the Bears, that actually feels like they need that bad. So that's like a hey. Good move.
I think they won 3-4 more games last season with McCarthy than Stefanski.
100%. Real quick though, before we move on to this final game, this is a little bit for me. I'll admit. Dennis Allen as a defensive coordinator. How do you like him? Not a head coach, as a defensive guy. How do you like him?
I was never upset with him until the playoffs came.
All right, Colts were looking at getting him. Hopefully they don't get him. We can move on now. They were looking at getting him, and I'm just like, no, this guy sucks.
I mean, he
Like
was
as a
our
person, I
defensive
heard.
coordinator when, and I might be wrong, all that shit in the playoffs, the 4-year runs of us getting turkey dogged in the last second, defense letting up runs, or not runs.
Mm-hmm.
Marcus
Yeah.
Williams head down, don't know how to tackle no damn body.
Yep. All right. I don't want him. Because I also heard
Rams.
too, as a head coach, Kendra Miller was having issues getting with injury and all that, and this guy was just so mad about it. He's like, "I'm just putting you on IR. I don't care if you're healthy or not." You hear stuff like that, and it immediately turns. I'm like, I don't like this Dennis Allen guy now.
I hate Dennis Allen.
All right, that's
For
all
the
I need
rest
to
of
know.
my
Thank
life,
you.
and I know I'm saying this on YouTube, and I can go to jail for threatening somebody. If I ever see Dennis Allen, I'm slapping the hell out of him. And I probably
Softly,
won't.
of course. Softly, of course.
Yeah, I probably won't. But in my head,
Softly, of course.
yeah. Him and Derek Carr, bro. It'd be the best day of my life if I just caught them together.
Hit him with
Man.
the follow through.
Yeah. Follow through with
Man,
the
that-
elbow. Ah!
And then you know what? We're gonna put Chris Ballard in line, and I want you, as you reach the end, to move up the palm. Hit that boy with the
Yeah.
palm, man. All I'm gonna say before we move on, since we talked about Colts a little bit, Chris Ballard left the Chiefs. Dynasty. Joins the Colts. Mediocrity. Anyway.
Worst thing
We
that
gotta
ever
talk about the
happened
Colts.
to the Saints was Dennis Allen.
And the Colts are interviewing him.
Yeah.
Godspeed, Colts fans. Godspeed.
And there's a rumor too that Sean Payton, when he came back a year later, wanted to come back to us.
Oh, really?
And Mickey was like, that'll be unfair to Dennis.
Let's talk about some winners, man. We're talking too much about losers during divisional round. God damn.
Man, speaking of
much about
winners
losers,
and
Mohawk.
losers, the winner of this game will be the loser next week. Ravens, Bills fighting to lose to the Chiefs. Ravens -1 on the road in Buffalo. If this don't tell you how trash Josh Allen is, I don't know what will. Ain't no way in damn hell Pat Mahomes is ever a dog at home in the playoffs. Total here, 51.5. I'm all over the Ravens here. -120. I believe in Lamar Jackson way more than I believe in Josh Allen. I believe in Derrick Henry way more than I believe in. I don't know. I do like James Cook. Can't
He's
talk
pretty
trash
good.
about him.
He won me a chip. I love that boy.
Yeah, coaching wise too. I think McDermott is in Zach Taylor range. Just not all. It's not a good coach.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'd at least put him above Zach Taylor, right? You would put him above him at least, right?
Well, I would say this. I put them both in the same category because I think both of those coaches are holding their team back.
I can't argue with you about that. I personally, for me, I think Sean McDermott's like a good coach, but is he great? I don't know. The Bills haven't won the big one, so it's kind of where it's like, is he holding them back? That is a good question. I do wonder because they got rid of Stephon Diggs this year. They've done almost every change they can do, and now it's kind of like,
yeah, except for the coach
or the quarterback. I'm just kidding. No, in this game though, Josh Allen wants to come to Indy.
Yeah, you can have it, bro.
Man, we need somebody to fight with our quarterback since he probably won't be healthy. Man, shout out Anthony Richardson for real. First jersey I've probably bought in years. Where probably a bad investment. And I blame not Anthony Richardson. I don't blame the kid. I blame Chris Ballard for setting up for failure, and I blame his agents for not making him stay in college. Anyway, Baltimore Ravens on the money line. Like I said, we're done talking about losers today. Honestly, I could see this game going either way, so I'm going to go with. I have memories of Derrick Henry running wild on the Bills, so I think there's another. I think Derrick Henry might end up running wild on the Bills. If he doesn't run wild, Lamar Jackson's going to be running wild. I just don't. The Bills' defense, watching that big play they gave up to the Broncos, that's the only play they gave up. But seeing that was just kind of like a Ravens do that like 2 or 3 times a game, so that's like okay, keep that in the back of my head. And then basically the Bills went up so big that it didn't matter what they did. They were playing from a completely different game script than they planned on. This is going to be a banger of a game. I mean, I'm not going to be, like I said, shocked if either team wins, but I'm going personally with the Ravens just because I love what I've seen from Lamar. I trust their defense a slight bit more. And as much as I do love James Cook, he is not the alien named Derrick Henry.
He's not a game changer. He's a great back, though.
Great back. Because, I mean, he's just – I'm not going to say he's small because he's an NFL player, and he's definitely probably bigger than me, for being honest, but he's a bit of a smaller back. And the Bills, they rotate their backs a lot more than the Ravens do. Like, if there's run, they'll bring in Ray Davis, they'll bring in Ty Johnson a lot more. Ravens go, hey, Derek,
Yeah.
Hey, Derek! And then he's just running people over. Scoring touchdown-wise, we're taking Derrick Henry, Josh Allen, James Cook, the top 3 on the board. Plus 105 for James Cook, Josh Allen. Love Derrick Henry as well. But it's been all year we've been taking the James Cook, Josh Allen. And James Cook, shout out to the fantasy footballers, man. They really put me on to James Cook this year. They're talking about his touchdown. Basically, his touchdown variance. He was like, man, he's been getting all these good carries, and then they just get to the goal line, don't give him the ball because they will always had another back. Don't give him the ball, they've always had another back. They don't have another back anymore. The other back's name is Josh Allen. So if he's not scoring, I do like James Cook as well. They've been truly. I mean, James Cook, I think, has like 17, 18 touchdowns in the year. That I won't lie to you, that's probably one of the best futures I've ever given out. And I can't believe like it was at 4.5.
Like week 3, huh?
Week 5 it hit, and they finally cashed it week 13 when he doubled that shit up. 10 touchdowns in week 13, and it was 4.5. Man, that shit was awesome. I don't mind Mark Andrews or Rashad Bateman as well. It's just Rashad Bateman pisses me off because it's literally this has happened now like I think 4 weeks in a row or like 3 weeks in a row, however many he scored. Where I'm like, I want to bet Rashad Bateman to score. I'm going to wait like another drive or two, give him good odds. Scores in like 3 plays later. It's like, nice, that sucks. So those are the guys I do like to score. Like to another game, I'll probably be doing it live. Receiving wise, I only got one prop I like. Khalil Shakir over 50.5 receiving yards. These are just 2 teams that pass the ball around way too much to all their guys, which not bad for football, bad for betting. So I don't want to trust anybody else really. Like Khalil Shakir is the number 1 option for the Bills, so I love him there. And then when it comes to the Ravens, I just don't. Oh, I lied. I have one more. Derrick Henry over 6.5 receiving yards. Very similar to the Puka Nacua situation where maybe we get him on a bubble screen instead of a bubble screen to make it a rush. This is a bubble screen where it's considered a pass and you get him out wide and going. He's 6.5 just feels way too low for Derrick Henry as long as he gets some momentum. Now, if they give him the ball and he's standing straight still, we might as well not even bet that shit because he ain't moving. But 6.5 feels way too low. I like that with Shakir. And then 2 more bets I got for you. Both quarterbacks have over 1.5 passing touchdowns. This is basically a situation where one's 108, one's minus 118. One's probably going to hit to cover the other, and if both hit, we're going to be golden. The over-under is thinking like 50 in this game. So it's going to be a lot of scoring. It's going to be a lot of scoring potentially. And then the final bet I have for you, Lamar Jackson, rushing over 52.5 rushing yards. His legs have just been a bigger part. And don't think I forgot when Mama yells at you. When Mama yells at you, you listen. Mama told him he needs to run more. That boy been running more since. So official bets for this game, passing touchdowns by both quarterbacks over 1.5. Khalil Shakir over 50.5 receiving yards. Derrick Henry over 15 or 6.5 receiving yards. Lamar Jackson over 50.5 rushing yards. Ravens money line. Derrick Henry, Josh Allen, James Cook, anytime touchdowns. And then I got 3 game specials that I can end with for the whatever you call it for the divisional round. We got 3 specials.
Yeah.
I didn't know if you wanted to like say anything else as well before I say that. It's kind of like my ender.
I'm on the Ravens. Money line.
Oh, yeah, you are. Yeah, you are. Yeah. No, honestly though, I got 3 little fun specials I kind of like that. This is how I'm gonna end pretty much end my bets. We got this one dropped. Derrick Henry and James Cook to each record 5+ rushing yards each quarter is plus 360. Don't mind it. A little fun game special right there. Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson to combine for 200+ rushing yards and 2+ rushing touchdowns. I'm actually kind of tempted by that one. It's plus 700. I love the odds on that one a lot. And this is probably my favorite one. This is my favorite one. I absolutely love it. I don't recommend taking it unless you want to get nasty with me. And you know how we go around here. We get nasty. Travis Kelce to record 10+ receiving yards each quarter plus 1,100. I love it. I think there's one quarter where it doesn't potentially happen, so that's why I don't want to give it out. But at the same time, if we're betting the other 2, I love this one as well. Plus 1,100, amazing odds. Let's do it.
I like the other 2. I don't really like that one. I will be on 2+ touchdowns with you with Kelce.
There's a reason that I gave out the other 2. In my show, I literally gave out the other 2. I'm like, now, by the way, people, don't take this, but I'm taking, and they gave it out. So, yeah, it's one of those. Love the other 2 way more than that one.
Yeah.
And you might as well just.
Syracuse money line.
Yesterday?
Any day. Anytime Syracuse plays, I probably got the money line, and I'm not telling you to do it, but I'm just telling you what I'm betting. That's the one team, bro. I fucking man.
Yeah, them boys not been treating you right, man. Especially lately, they've been. I know we're into football, but man, them boys. We got a few college teams that need to figure their shit out.
Yeah, it's hard, bro. You go.
Or is their season already over?
Oh, Syracuse is over. You go from 50 years of excellence.
Man,
It's hard to find another coach to give you 50 years of excellence. I'll just say that.
I give these I forgot I give these bets out every year as well. Yeah, you are right though. Especially when you go, it's really hard to go from like. I mean, we saw it with the Patriots too. They just went from Bill Belichick to Gerard Mayo. I mean, those are some big shoes. It's hard to follow up a great coach, especially when like Boeheim, who's been like that is Syracuse. When I think of Syracuse, you think of Boeheim. But I do want to give out these 3 bets that I give out every single year. I don't think they've hit yet either, so that makes it even better. Any non-QB to record a passing touchdown plus 1,700. Any offensive lineman to score a touchdown plus 2,800. And then any QB to score a receiving touchdown plus 5,500. I think I've given that out for 3 years straight. I don't think it's hit once. I give it out every year.
Some of that stuff hits. The Lions, they've been showing some trickery.
And they Sewell threw a pass.
Yeah. He's also, caught one. I
just know there's people thinking like, God, he's giving this out again, dude.
Yeah. Nah, this year I actually like it. Chiefs and Lions been showing some trickery. And who the hell knows what Sean McVay got up his sleeve.
I said that last year about 2 different teams, and they didn't do shit. So, hey, you know what they say? This year's the year, baby. This year's the year.
Hey, you're never too old to hope and dream. Right here, just
oh, man.
It says, be glad of life because it gives you the chance to love and to work and to play and to look up at the stars.
Man, that's truly inspirational. I can't say better. I don't want to follow that up. You got to follow that up, man. That was truly beautiful. You get that shit from Panda Express? Was that one of the fortune cookies?
Nah, I don't know if y'all know about these little, it's like a card. You can write it.
Oh, yep.
And then you pop it open and it has some, like this.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
These are the magic years and therefore magic days and therefore magic moments.
Can't say better, people. We're about to have some magical moments upon us. We got a divisional round this weekend, got the Natty Monday, AFC Championship next week, and then 2 weeks after that, Super Bowl 50, whatever.
Hey, bro.
I don't know what 50 it is at this point. 58, 59, 57?
I lost track around 34, bro, to be honest.
I lost track Super Bowl 50, honestly.
Yeah.
I still see Broncos Panthers in my head. Like, yeah, man, Super Bowl 50.
Nah, time flies, bro. I remember, around like 44, maybe 35. I don't know. I haven't caught up since the 40s, though. I'll tell you that.
I remember when the Raiders were in the Super
Old ass Jerry Rice. I do remember that shit.
Fuck it. Oh, man. The only thing I remember from that game is watching it back and watching all those pick sixes to the box.
Yeah, that was the most unfair Super Bowl I've ever watched in my life.
Oh, man. Shout out Gruden, baby. Got himself. And Tony Dungy, the king of the Tampa 2.
Man. Crazy.
It's going to be a beautiful weekend. Can't wait.
Nah, it's going to be amazing, bro. And I know you don't give a damn. Kentucky, Alabama. Alabama, baby. You can watch that one. It's on at noon. Give you 4 hours before the Chiefs game.
On Saturday?
Yeah, get some college.
Okay. Might have to tune in. Don't forget about Unrivaled this weekend.
Nah, shout out to Unrivaled, bro. I was going to talk about that tomorrow in depth, but shout out to Unrivaled if you don't know. Nah, that's cool. I'll talk about it any day of the week. Any day of the week. Unrivaled starts tomorrow. 3-on-3 Women's Basketball League. Top names from the WNBA. I mean, top names. Sabrina Ionescu, Brianna Stewart, Nafisha Collier, Jackie Young, Rikia Jackson.
Cameron Brink.
Cameron Brinks, Elisa Thomas, Brittany Grinder. Literally every superstar in the WNBA. Arika, all of them.
Arika Ogunbowale.
Yeah. I always scared to say her last name.
I can't blame you. After Nico Iomelava, I've gotten a lot more confident in some of these names. I've been trying to be bold about them. Then there's other ones just like I'm not even going to. Nope.
I can't even
say
regular names, bro.
I was about to say, we hear you butcher John Cena.
Man.
Names are hard, man. I can't blame you. Some names are just like, because it's so weird. It's like, it's Eric. What?
Yeah.
The G, F, R, and Q are silent. It's like, all right. Yeah. I'm supposed to just know that.
Yeah. No, I can't read a name that I haven't heard and know how the fuck to say it.
I'm the same way. You say it one way, and then they read it out. It's like, oh, yeah, that
Huh?
sounds a lot better. Yeah. What are
Oh,
you
so
saying?
those letters are silent. Okay. All the letters I said was silent. Okay, I got you. I got you. But man, you can stay around if you want. I'm about to talk some college hoops. I appreciate you.
I admit, because of the situation we did talk about, I do probably got to get running so I can go check in and everything. But I appreciate you. Before to cut you off a little bit, I really do enjoy coming on every day. This is probably one of the few times a week wake up at 5 a.m. with like a little bit of energy, man. Like, man, not only is it almost the weekend, we with that
We get
boy
to talk some
motherfucking
football.
dives, man.
Man. Now I
Really
appreciate you taking
beautiful.
the time out of your schedule, waking up early. Definitely appreciate it. I know the listeners appreciate it because I don't talk shit about football.
Hey, that's why
And
you're
this
the best,
guy, for
man.
those that don't know, he's too humble to brag. D lineman at the collegiate level.
In the trenches.
He knows
Yeah,
the
I'll
game.
admit. I like because people. I'll admit that's something where it's like people they say you got to earn your stripes in media, earn the stripes and all that. I would say playing defensive line at the NAI/D2 level. I feel like that's a man. Look at that guy's like that guy loves football. D3 guys, those guys love football. Like it's that's the way I kind of look at it, man. Like maybe I didn't earn my stripes totally playing the National Football League and all that, but I love football, man. Love
Nah,
it.
bro.
Yeah.
From the stories I heard, you played in the North, freezing weathers, D2 in the trenches.
Pound and ground football, not us, but other schools.
Yeah.
It's not. Hey, I'll tell you what. You play in some negative degree weather in February
Yeah.
because COVID fucks up your season. It changes a man. Makes a man reconsider what's cold. Like, man, do I love football? got a long sleeve thermal on, another long sleeve on, thermal leggings with other leggings. Sitting there like, this shit's
Still
cold, boy.
Yeah.
God damn. Oh, fuck, it's cold.
Yeah, you're right. But man, I appreciate you. I wish you the best in everything you got going on
Yeah, my
today
boy.
and tomorrow. And look forward to enjoying this weekend together via text.
Appreciate
For
it,
sure.
man. I'll be catching up with you this whole weekend. And man, I'll leave with this. I want to celebrate the Irish. We're gonna hold off. Not yet. Not just yet. Shout out to my Notre Dame Irish for making the national championship because I gave up on them after an IU. I came on this show that week, blasted Riley Leonard and Marcus Freeman's ass. Take it all back. They earned my respect back. I love them. And for the NFL playoffs before I head out of here, man, truly crazy. We started all the way week 1, 272 games, whatever the number is, and we're down to the final 6. And it's crazy. After this weekend, we have 3 games left, and after next weekend, just 1. So thank y'all, people. Really much love. I can't wait to catch up on some of the basketball stuff and all that. Yeah. See you people then. I was going to say something funny, but Notre Dame's an 8.5-point dog. I'm going to keep my mouth shut.
Hey, man. The only time you can say it is now. My guy, JC, from the JC Pod on YouTube. Check him out. I was watching this show last night, kind of getting all his bets early. I don't know why he's going to give them to me on this show. He's going to give them to you on this show. But check him out. He does hour-long shows 3 times a week, covering strictly football for the most part. I cover basketball, and we make it do what it do. And now, the part of the show you're probably familiar with. It's what you all been waiting for, ain't it? No, I'm kidding. Playoffs, football. I really do love that he comes on and breaks it down for us. Uh, love talking football with him on Thursdays. I want to talk some bracketology. Excuse me. Before I talk anything current, I just want to look at a few things looking at the bracket as of right now. The first 4 schools out is Arkansas, Arizona State, Indiana, and Vanderbilt. The next 4 out is Texas, Cincinnati, SMU, and Villanova. And then the last 4 in New Mexico, Iowa, Dayton, Creighton. Just those schools alone tells you the madness is about to be maddening this year. I know a lot of these are going to change. None of these matchups are there. But just right now, looking at the East bracket alone, you're looking at Duke, Maryland, Texas Tech, UConn, Michigan, Ole Miss, Houston, Georgia, North Carolina, and Tennessee. 10 teams out of the 16 teams in this one bracket that I believe have a chance to get to the Elite Eight Final Four. All of those teams, very good teams. It's going to be a gauntlet for either one of them, any one of those schools to come out of the East. Looking at the South bracket, Auburn, first number one seed. Number one seeds Iowa State, Alabama, Duke, and Auburn. All of those teams deserve it. I think Alabama's going to be more of a 2 or 3 seed by the time we finish. I do think the other 3 schools, Auburn, Duke, and Iowa State, will be our 1 seeds going into the tournament. I think the 2 and 3 and 4 lines can move around a little bit. Kansas right now is a 2 seed, while Houston and Kentucky is a 3 seed. Definitely think that can flip. Definitely can see a team like Gonzaga and even Purdue getting up a little higher. They're a 4 and 5 seed right now. But looking at the South, Auburn, St. John's, Clemson, Gonzaga, Purdue, Baylor, Texas A&M, Kansas, St. Mary's, UCLA. That's another list of 10 teams. Any one of those teams, when hot, can make a damn run. Man, I'd be terrified if I was Auburn and I got to play Rick Pitino and St. John's on a 2-day turnaround like that. The West, we got Iowa State as the 1 seed. Pittsburgh and San Diego State. San Diego State at that 9 seed spot, very, very dangerous. Iowa State showed us last night they might have the best defense in the country. They'll need to put some offense with it come in March. They did it last night against Kansas, one of the best teams, one of the best coach teams, one of the most experienced teams. I said it earlier in the show. I'm surprised Kansas with a 5th-year point guard, a 5th-year big man, and I didn't even look at the stats. I watched the game, at least 12 turnovers between the 2 of them. But in the West, you also got Illinois, Oregon, Arizona, Florida. Probably got 4 or 5 teams I say have a chance to win this thing. Iowa State probably beats them all. Right now, I like Iowa State to go to the Final Four. I'll get to the Final Four in a second. Alabama. I think they'll end up a 2 or 3 seed in this bracket. I could see a team like Kentucky, who's a 3 seed right now, moving up to that 1 line. Even Marquette, who's the 2 seed right now in that, moving up to the 1 line. But in the Midwest, you're looking at Alabama, Louisville, Oklahoma. I won't really put them on that list, but tough teams regardless. Alabama, Memphis, Michigan State, Kentucky, Marquette. There's also teams like Nebraska, West Virginia, Wisconsin, Dayton, Creighton that could definitely give anybody trouble come March. But just a quick glance, I haven't even broken down every game. Final Four. I really do think St. John's can upset Auburn right there, which will leave a nice path for either Gonzaga or Purdue. Man, this is the toughest one. Wichita, you got Baylor, UC Irvine, Texas A&M, and Marist. It's got to be Baylor or Texas A&M coming out of there to the Sweet 16. And then Kansas, whoever comes out of that, UCLA or St. Mary's game. And I also think Kansas will be bumped down to a 4 seed. Maybe Purdue jumps up to the 2 seed. I don't know. This is probably the hardest one, is why I started with it in the South. I'm just going to go with the 5 seed right now, Gonzaga, in the Final Four. They're one of the toughest teams. Underrated because they're in the WCC. They do this every year. They barely cover in the WCC. Then they start covering, and then all of a sudden, boom, they hit the tournament rolling. So we got Iowa State, Gonzaga, excuse me. It's a morning show. Losing my damn verse. And then Duke, UConn, Michigan, Houston, Tennessee. Flip a coin, bruh. I'm going to be a homer. Nah, Michigan don't have the guard play. You need guards come tournament time. Come tournament time, Danny Wolf running the point for Michigan will not work. and it breaks my heart. John L. Davis, till the day I die, I will shed a tear that you chose John Calipari in Arkansas over your coach, Dusty May, in Michigan. Y'all would probably be undefeated and the flat-out favorites if John L. Davis is still running point for Dusty May at Michigan. I do think Michigan will get to that Sweet 16 spot, though, where they'll take on Duke. That's going to be a tough one. I'll give Duke the lean, but I think Duke's going to have an early exit. I mean, we've seen Cooper Flag. If they're not up by 30 at the end of the game, he's probably going to smoke it. Say what I said. Houston. Do they have the offensive firepower? Can Ole Miss replicate 2019 when he was at Texas Tech, bringing a school nobody thought about to the final game? They did end up losing to Virginia. Kyle Guy. Anybody remember that name? Anyway, Ole Miss, long shot. We're going to do it right here. This is January. Nobody cares about the madness yet. We're going Gonzaga, Iowa State, Ole Miss, 3 of the Final 4 teams. And then just because I got them to win it all, Kentucky will be that last Final 4 spot. Ole Miss, about to write this down just for fun. Ole Miss, Kentucky, Zaga, Iowa State. It's my Final 4 right now. Still got Kentucky winning the whole damn thing. Although Iowa State did tell me last night, well, we got a chance too. I said, all right then, big dog. You already took my money. You ain't got to talk trash. We were on Kansas, if you don't remember. But anyway, speaking of last night, let's look into what happened last night on the collegiate hardwood before we get to this beautiful night ahead of us. It's captained by a hook with the red beard, talking college hoops. Middle of January, baby. Set it to open the show. Less than 60 days away from Selection Sunday, 63 days from the start of the tournament. And if you can do math, it's 9 weeks. Exactly. Every Thursday leading up to it, we'll do what we just did and break down bracketology. See what the hell they talking about. But last night, Iowa State took on Kansas. Iowa State improved to 15-1, 5-0 in Big 12 play behind the likes of Curtis Jones, who dropped 25 points in the win. 74-57. It was close at one point. I think it was like 47-52. Iowa State called a timeout and shut all that shit down. 74-57 win for Iowa State. Tennessee did something similar to Georgia. Tennessee now 3-1 SEC play, 16-1 on the season. That only loss coming to Florida. Tennessee 74-56 win over Georgia. This game was 26-25 at the half. That's literally when I cut it on. Switched over from the Kansas game. Georgia, Tennessee. I said, damn, Georgia in this thing, 26-25. I look up, there's 12 minutes on the clock left in the game. Georgia scored 4. Tennessee scored 26. From that point on, it was a wrap, like a Christmas present. Zakai Ziegler, 16 points, 7 assists, 6 steals. Also became Tennessee's leader all-time in steals. Did it in 4 years, even with the injuries. So it is legit. None of that 5-year record. You know that don't fly with me. Houston. They beat West Virginia. But like I told you, and I thought I done told you, West Virginia is going to cover the 18.5. They lose by 16. Keeping it close in the second. Got blown out in the first. 70-54 win for H-Time. Michigan State, don't look now. But they 6-0 in Big Ten play, 15-2 on the season. Michigan State beat Penn State closer than I would have liked, 90-85. Michigan State does not cover. Glad I didn't jump on it. Purdue-ski, the Boilermakers, baby. My man Frank's best bet of the day. They get the comeback victory, down 8 at the half, end up winning by 11. Washington, get the hell up out my Big Ten. 1-6 now. Washington is in Big Ten play. Purdue improves to 6-1. It's anybody's conference in the Big Ten, and man, do I love that. Great Alzobor for Washington in the loss. He did have 28 points, 9 rebounds. Braden Smith for Purdue, 17 points, 6 rebounds, 5 steals. One of the games that surprised me the most last night, the running Rebels of Las Vegas, UNLV, they give Utah State their first loss of conference play, second loss of the season. I just gave Utah State their flowers all week, and this is how they were paid. Not only do they not cover the 5.5, they lose outright to the running Rebels of Las Vegas. 65-62 win for UNLV. Shout out to them. They're 4-2 in Mountain West play. The Mountain West. No, I'm kidding. All these conferences still hella close. I mean, even Arkansas, who's 0-4, technically is only 4 games back from the lead. Vanderbilt, they beat a good South Carolina team. Vanderbilt is a good team. 14-3, 2-2 SEC. Vanderbilt, 66-63 win over South Carolina. My guy, AJ Hager, ex-Michigan State guy. He had 14 points last night for Vanderbilt. He's been leading them on this 14-3 season this year. Wake Forest, 13-4. They are 5-1 ACC play. Very underrated team is the Wake Forest Demon Deacons. And don't look now, Hunter Salas doing the damn thing. He's averaging just over 19 points a game. Had 30 last night. Played every single minute in the victory over Stanford's 80-67. Shout out to Wake Forest. They need to get some damn loving. North Carolina, 5-1 now in ACC play after Turkey dog whooping California. They just walked the dog with them. 79-53. Virginia Tech, 3-point win over North Carolina State. That was a comeback victory. 14-point differential in the second half for Virginia Tech. Just to back up a little bit, Ian Jackson, the phenom freshman for North Carolina, turned it on when the conference play started. Had another 20-point game last night. And for Virginia Tech, Toby Lowell, he had 22 points, 11 rebounds, a double to help Virginia Tech knock off NC State. Rich what? It don't matter. Richmond lost by a whole hell of a lot. The St. Bonnies, baby. St. Bonaventures struggled since conference play started. Still 15-3 on the season. Still probably going to make the tournament. Maybe not, though. Who knows? Dayton. They look like one of the best teams in the country. Late November. Looks like one of the worst teams in the country. Middle of January. They lose last night to George Mason, who's now 4-1 in A10 play, 13-5 on the season. Dayton falls to 1-3 in conference play. Butler gets their first Big East win of the season after taking down Seton Hall 82-77, baby. Rocking and rolling. Shout out to the Green Wave. Tulane now 4-1 in the American Conference. Caleb Banks. Shout out to him. 25 points last night, averaging a little over 18 a game. 25 points in the win. Tulane 80-65 win over Florida Atlantic. Tulane 4-1 in the American Conference. The Utes of Utah, they took down TCU 73-65. Cincinnati, finally. This team was 11-1 going into conference play, or 10-1 going into conference play. They're now 11-5. They get their first Big 12 win last night, 68-62 over Colorado. SMU takes down Virginia. The madness is among us. Buzzer beater. SMU 54, Virginia 52. Pittsburgh, don't go breaking my heart. They couldn't if they broke it last night. Pittsburgh 70-82 loss to Florida State. Don't look now. Florida State's 12-5, 3-3, looking to be on the up and up. Malik Ewin, 18 points, 13 rebounds for the Seminoles. Jalen Lowe, 22 points in the loss for Pittsburgh. Rhode Island. I said they might be the biggest collapse, most heartbreaking collapse in the history of sports. It's only because I bet them a hell of a lot to win this conference, and they're falling apart like a good brisket. A loss last night to Loyola Chicago. Loyola Chicago getting things right in the ship. They was on like a 5-game losing streak before this. 81-77 win over Rhode Island. And in the late game, well, I could talk about Drake. 15-2, 5-2 in conference play. Drake, 66-62 win over Illinois State. And in the late game, Texas gets their first SEC win of the season. They beat Oklahoma, who's now lost 4 in a row after being 13-0 coming into conference play. Oklahoma and Florida and Tennessee were all undefeated coming into conference play. Oklahoma has yet to get a conference win. 0-4. Even though your boy Jalen Moore dropped 29 points, 8 rebounds in the losing effort, 77-73. Texas just whooped up on them. Jordan Pope, 27 points and 4 steals for the Longhorns, baby. What a damn night. What a damn night. Let's look at tonight's games. Captained by a hook with the Red Beard previewing today's slate of college basketball before I give out my bets. Not a lot of big games, but there's enough. Michigan taking on Minnesota. Everything in my fiber. Once you take Michigan minus the 9.5, no way Michigan doesn't win this by double digits, right? Talking myself into it live. Michigan minus 9.5. No way I can back Minnesota. But man, playing in the barn. Michigan's on the road. If Michigan's at home laying 9.5, this thing is already bet. But on the road at 9.5, Minnesota's bit me before. I'll just say that. Probably going to end up on Michigan, though, minus the 9.5. First game I'm looking at will be a damn fun one. Funyun? Fun one. Louisiana Tech, the Texters, they're minus 2.5 on the road at Jacksonville State. If I didn't have a future on Louisiana Tech to win this conference, I'd bet this game minus 2.5, but I do. So I'm just hoping they win. Moneyline's minus 150. I like Louisiana Tech, the Bulldogs, to win that game against Jacksonville State. Got to start bringing the water once I run out of coffee. Memphis. They're taking on Temple. Memphis on the road, laying 8.5, getting juice. Probably be 9.5 by the time you see it or get to it. And let me warn you, Memphis is winning this thing by 4. Everybody knows. Memphis, minus 8.5. You can't do it. But there's no way in hell I'm betting Temple. Memphis just struggled to cover in conference play for some reason. They blow out Ole Miss, who I think is one of the best teams in the country, and then they can't cover 6.5 against North Texas at home. I just don't have confidence Memphis is covering 8.5. But there's no way I can bet against them. I'll just say that. I believe there's 1 or 2 more down here. Rutgers. They're taking on Nebraska. Nebraska laying 9.5, way too big. Rutgers plus 9.5 might end up being a bet. It's probably my favorite bet. I'm not taking Rutgers plus the points on the road. They either lose by 2 or win by 2. Rarely have I seen Rutgers at full health get blown out. I know Indiana beat up on them, but they were missing Dylan Harper. Dylan Harper should be playing tonight. Ace Bailey should be playing tonight. Rutgers should cover the 9.5, taking on Nebraska. And then we got Maryland on the road, slight favorites, taking on Northwestern. Kind of like Northwestern at home. But man. I want to bet Maryland. But these are the spots where I bet Maryland, and they just get that ass whooped. So I'm staying away for that reason. Northwestern at home. Tough, feisty team. Maryland, better come prepared to play. Grand Canyon, the Lopes, baby. 13.5-point favorites. Get them the hell out of my face. This team hasn't covered I was about to say a horrible joke. Not taking Grand Canyon to cover double digits right now. Washington State taking on San Diego. This is another bet I absolutely love. Washington State minus 12.5 on the road. Honestly, I'll probably bet this. Washington State minus 12.5 taking on San Diego. San Diego, just a poor basketball program. Washington State should win this thing close to 20. Probably end up taking that minus 12.5. Oh yeah. Anyway, let's get to these damn bets. Wildin' on an island, chilling like a villain. Captain by a hook, baby. Just talked myself into Washington State minus 12 and a hook. Just talked myself into Michigan minus 9.5. Came in the show with 2 bets, leaving with 4. Ain't nothing wrong with that. The 2 bets I do have, though, that I haven't talked about yet. College of Charleston. That's right. Only laying 5.5 on the road. I saw this number and thought, did the whole starting 5 lineup quit, fail, get hurt? No injuries, no problems, full strength. College of Charleston taking on Campbell. College of Charleston minus 5.5. Honestly, should have dropped the horns for this shit. Best bet of the damn week. Best bet of the damn day. Knock on some wood. I'm jinxing it now. College of Charleston, baby. Minus the 5.5. Easy bet right there for me to make. And then in the late games, in the WCC, we got Oregon State hosting Gonzaga. Gonzaga on the road laying 9.5. That's where my money would be. On the Zags, minus 9.5. They definitely beat Oregon State by, my number is 16, 17. I think they win by 18 to 22, maybe even more. Frank, my bad, dog. I already gave out the best bet in College of Charleston. Man, it's been an absolutely amazing show. Captain by a Hook. Check it out on YouTube. All football games broken down earlier in this episode. All of those bets given out. But for today's college basketball bets, Michigan minus 9.5, Washington State minus 12.5, and then give me Gonzaga minus 9.5 as well. And the best bet of the day, College of Charleston minus 5.5. If you don't bet anything, bet that. Bet that. Captain by a Hook with the red beard, presented by Stare Down Sports. Stare Down Greatness. I'm Rowan Donaghy, a.k.a. Rowan Dobbs, going live on a fantastic Thursday, the 16th day of January, baby. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Thank you for the love, and thank you for the support. It means more than you know. Go live Monday through Friday on YouTube, and not for Nathan, not for nothing, not for nada, but for you. Please take all of these bets at your own risk, and please gamble responsibly. Dobbs.